Hi, this is Danielle Stewart, your candidate for mayor of Beckley in 2020, and I'm here today to talk to you about what I see is the biggest problem in Beckley. This is going to be a long video, almost 15 minutes long, but I hope you're able to stick through it and you'll better understand why I think the way that I do. Beckley has a lot of problems: substance abuse, crime, low wages, low employment participation, quality of employment, trash, abandoned properties, substandard housing, homelessness, and the list goes on and on. While these are each individually a problem, I feel they are really symptoms of the bigger issue we have in Beckley, and that by addressing the bigger issue, we will in time eliminate the symptoms. I've told people for years that our biggest problem in Beckley is our population loss. Most people laugh and point to one of the symptoms I mentioned earlier as our biggest issue, but there's a reason to my thoughts. In 1980, the population of Beckley was 20,492. The estimated population of Beckley in 2018 was 16,183. That is a loss of 4,309 people over 38 years, or about 113 people per year. That doesn't sound like much until you look at it in the big picture. According to the Census Bureau, the average family size in Beckley is 2.2 people per house. At an occupancy rate of 2.2 people per house and a loss of 4,309 people, that means that since 1980, we've had 1,958 empty houses. That's almost 2,000 houses not paying utilities. That's almost 4,000 people not paying taxes or shopping at our local businesses. That's 4,000 people not paying to maintain and improve 2,000 houses. And although we have less people and less occupied houses, we still have to pay the same amount to maintain the roads, sewer, water, and other infrastructure in the city. This has huge impacts. Here's an example to demonstrate the effect of population loss on the community. I used round numbers and estimates to make the math easier to understand. The actual numbers are much worse. Things like inflation, changes in laws, utility rate increases, and the rate of growth of salaries are just some of the factors that impact the real numbers. In 1980, we had 10,000 occupied houses paying $5,000 per year in utilities and taxes. This brought in $50 million to pay for our infrastructure. At the same time, we had $50 million in expenses to pay for our infrastructure, so we were able to maintain balance in our community. In 2018, we had 8,000 houses occupied paying $5,000 per year in utilities and taxes. This brought in $40 million to pay for infrastructure. At the same time, we still had $50 million worth of infrastructure to maintain, a gap of $10 million per year. Because we have this gap, our city and utilities either have to raise taxes and rates to make up the loss, costing us all more money, or defer maintenance as long as possible. This is what is happening now with our roads in Beckley. We are supposed to repave our roads every 12 years, but currently we can only afford to repave them every 25 years. Apply this same effect with our water, sewer, electrical, gas, and telecommunication systems, and you have the resulting issues that we currently have in Beckley. The same thing can be found in our economy. Again, I use round numbers and estimates to make the math easier to understand. I specifically use $41,000 in retail expenditures per person, as that is the official number from the U.S. Census Bureau for 2012, the last year the statistic was published. In 1980, 20,000 people spent on average $41,000 per year at stores in Beckley, accounting for $820 million in retail sales. In 2018, 16,000 people spent on average $41,000 per year at stores in Beckley, accounting for $656 million in sales. This is a loss of $164 million per year from our economy. A loss of $164 million in our economy equals the loss of around 4,100 jobs. A loss of that many jobs explains all the empty businesses in Beckley. Let's look further at impacts of population loss on businesses. Let's say we have Industry A in 1980. Industry 80 needs 100 employees. Only 1 out of every 200 people have the skills needed by Industry A. With a population of 20,000, Beckley has 100 qualified people to work in Industry A. So Industry A locates in Beckley. Now move to 2018. Industry A can still employ 100 people, and only 1 out of every 200 people have the required skills. With a population of 16,000, Beckley only has 80 qualified people to work in Industry A. So Industry A will not locate in Beckley. Let's take that further. A small business in Industry B needs 1,000 customers to financially sustain an individual business. With a population of 20,000, Beckley can support 20 small businesses in Industry B. With a population of 16,000, Beckley can only support 16 small businesses in Industry B. And let's take it even further. Retail store or restaurant C will only locate in a community with 20,000 potential customers. In 1980, the store locates a business in Beckley. In 2018, the store does not locate a business in Beckley because we cannot support their business model. These numbers are not real, but these are just some of the exact calculations businesses use to determine where they will locate. The numbers change, but the process does not. When people ask why a Google or Amazon won't locate in Beckley, this is why. When people ask why a small business closed in Beckley, this is why. When we ask why Beckley doesn't have a Target or a Red Lobster, this is why. We will not be able to address our issues without increasing our population. This is not new. We have watched in real time as McDowell County has lost 70,000 people. In 1989, Mount View High School in Welch was a AAA school. Now, it's a single A school. You only have to compare class sizes at Woodrow over the last 30 years to see it happening here. So to this point, I have demonstrated how serious of a problem our population loss is, but I have not connected it to other issues. And that is because a lot of those issues, the ones I called symptoms earlier, are due to a lack of opportunity and hope brought on because of the impacts of our population loss. We all know there are lots of job openings for minimum wage, part-time, no-benefit jobs in Beckley. But what kind of quality of life is that? One night, you close the store at midnight and then have to open it the next day at 6 a.m. You work 6 hours on Sunday, off on Monday, 4 hours each on Tuesday and Wednesday, off on Thursday, and 5 hours each on Friday and Saturday. And the next week, the schedule is completely different. How do you go to school with a schedule like that? How do you take care of a family with a schedule like that? You make minimum wage, $8.75 an hour, and if you are super fortunate in this area, you could work 40 hours a week and bring home $300 a week after taxes. And because this person is working, all of their social safety net benefits are reduced. On May 1st, 2019, the Beckley Police Department arrested a woman for prostitution. She was charging $40 per trick, and let's say each trick takes an hour. If she performed 8 tricks a week, 8 hours of total work, she makes $320 a week, or $20 more than a minimum wage individual working 40 hours a week does. And on top of that, because she isn't working a legitimate job, she's eligible for full SNAP benefits, Medicaid, and other economic support. This person can have a better quality of life than the individual working their butt off at a minimum wage job. We can apply this same principle to thieves and drug dealers. People are going to do what they can to make the most money and have a better quality of life. Do we have a problem with crime? Or do we have an economic problem? Let's stay with our hard-working person making minimum wage. She gets sick and can't work a week. And now she's behind on bills. Because she's behind on bills, she can't make her car payment and it gets repossessed. Without a car, she cannot get to work or get a new job. Without a job, she can't pay her rent and gets evicted. And now we have another homeless person on the street, or worse, a person turning to crime to support themselves. This is not a make-believe story. This has happened to people I know, and it is happening to people in this city every single week. This is not a problem with people who don't want to work. This is a problem with our economy and our support systems. And the thing that connects this all is that we have lost hope in our city. When the poorest of us lose hope, we all lose. If people can leave, they leave. If people can't leave, they do what they have to do to survive. People turn to drugs to ease their suffering. People without hope don't care about their house and trash and abandon it. People without hope don't care about their neighborhood and throw trash everywhere. People without hope don't care about other people and only use people to help themselves. And so, the death spiral continues. There are no easy answers here. There is no magic bullet or water park that will fix these problems. This is a complex, multifaceted problem across time, generations, and socioeconomic status that will take the entire community working together to improve. This problem takes a leader who understands the complexity of the situation. This problem takes a leader that cares about all of the people in Beckley. This problem takes a leader with fresh views and new ideas to lead our community back to prosperity. I am that leader. Over the next weeks, I will tell you exactly how I plan to address our problems. So stay tuned. And on May 12th, vote for me, Danielle Stewart, for mayor of Beckley. Together, we can make Beckley a place we all want to live.